for, that siren now, the gladiators. You will go on my first whistle. That way. Welcome back to the show, everybody. It is Thursday. It's the Upper Tier Podcast.
Contender,
Thursday.
you will go on my first whistle. Gladiator, you will go on my second whistle. 3, 2, 1.
I remember when they ran out of time. You just get that. It's so weird,
Yeah, the hooter from the countdown. Deadly.
Yeah, absolutely. We have a good show tonight, folks. Thanks for joining us. Hope you're all well. We are going to be talking FA Cup, getting some predictions for the FA Cup coming up this weekend. We will be talking about the international break proposed that's going to happen next season. Get your thoughts on that. We will be talking as well, and we want to get everyone's thoughts on this. Is the Premier League becoming unwatchable? That's the talk and the narrative that's out there. We'll talk about that, and we have a bit of a slide on it. We're going to be talking about Arsene Wenger's offside rule as well. I know Darren has some good views on that, and also some good views on this whole crash the box, as we call it, of these corners and set pieces. Darren spoke to me the other day about it, and he had some really good suggestions. So we'll talk.
Well, we solved this within 3 minutes?
Well, you solved it. I just listened.
But it's job done, right? It's so simple.
Funny enough now, I was listening to a couple of podcasts last night.
Right.
And your suggestion on the fix for Crash the Box was the narrative that was going around. And I hadn't heard it before that from anyone else. So unless they're listening in, but they couldn't be listening in.
Well, they weren't listening to our call.
Well, maybe they were.
For me, it was just the most natural, sensible solution to a problem. Like, this is a very easy fix, and we'll discuss it later, obviously, but
Imagine the solution to a multi-trillion-dollar industry is found in an amateur sport in Ireland. That's all I'll say. But there you go.
Yeah, not far away, all right.
There you go. In the chat, of course, Joanna's in there as always. How are you, Joanne? Joanne, I'm sure you are beaming from ear to ear tonight. I'm sure you're beaming from ear to ear. Although I would say, if they do go down, I mean, it's generally 6 points for you each season.
Yeah, but I think the bigger plus for Joanne is last night's results.
Of course.
That's a much bigger, because if I'm beaming as an Arsenal fan, I'm beaming because I managed to get over the line last night.
Like the smile last night is ear to ear. Now it's going right around the back of the head tonight.
Yeah, true, yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. Big up, Joanne. Bren's in as well. Big up, Bren. How are you, lads? The ref and Gladiators was quality, yeah. UTV.
Remember the Scotch lad? Very good. I love that, Bren.
The last challenge.
It was John something, wasn't it? Was it John?
John.
We'll think about that.
It was Earl Hepner.
It was our version of Earl Hepner, or Gladiators version.
Or their version of Earl Hepner, I should say. What's the crack, lads? Big up, Key. 3-1 to Palace so far. Worrying times for Spurs. Worrying times? I think they're going down. Evening, lads. What's the crack? Big up, Baz. Hope you're good, brother.
John Anderson, Google says.
John Anderson. Aaron's brother. Yes, I'm beaming. I lost 3.5 pounds this week.
Good on you, Joanne. Good on you.
Very good indeed. My eyes are a bit sensitive. I'm only back from the swimming pool. So there you go.
Oh, were you bathing in cold water? And
I was floating around, and then I was in the hot tub, and then we had the plunge pool, and we had the shower with the bucket that you pull the chain, which is like Heart Attack Hill.
the one I sent you the video of last week.
Yeah, we have that up there as well. It's an experience to say the least.
Can I tell them about where you sent me last week?
Of course you can.
So Niall lives a little bit on the other side of the city,
North Wicklow.
Yeah. Nice leafy suburb, I might add. But he's been bigging up this place called The Big Boys for quite some time. And said to me, Dazzler, you're going to have to go to this place. This is the place to go. So I happened to be driving along the M50 last week. I'm on my way to Wexford. A few days with the wife and stuff like that. And we're both hungry. It's Friday afternoon. And no, I rang Niall. I says, anything to eat out your neck of the woods? And he said, head to The Big Boys. Boy, was I not disappointed. If you are around the Greystones, Bray area, or as the lads told me, they now have one in Glasnevin. If you're around the Glasnevin, Finglas area, The Big Boys. I had a smash burger. It was sensational. And Rosanna had the loaded tenders. And again, out of this world. There was eating and drinking on both of them.
They're only short of giving you a mini JCB to lift that.
I picked up the burger, right, and I was like,
doing arm curls.
I was like, that's like, well, it's like picking up a baby. It was like a weighty. But great food, really nice guys, using like the best of ingredients, and just doing things the right way. And we like to give people a little shout out, don't we?
Absolutely, 100%.
Yeah,
absolutely great place. If you are driving by, if you're on the M50 heading down the N11, if you're going down Wicklow, Wexford way, it's on the left-hand side before you hit the Glen of the Downs, the opposite side to the Glenview Hotel. And it's a little small, kind of hidden away. You wouldn't necessarily know it's even
you'd
there.
miss it very handily.
But very well spoke of, and very, very good reviews all the time, and they do an exceptional. Superb. It's just real nice food, and it doesn't feel like, you know, that food sometimes you eat and you enjoy it and all, but it's heavy onion stuff.
Well,
it's really
seemed
nice.
To be what I would describe as fast food without the bleh afterwards, you know, that kind of way.
Yeah, no.
Everything freshly cooked, made to order, just tops, and the lads were super nice and stuff like that. I explained to them that my pal goes there and whatever, and they were just really, really good guys, I have to say.
Keith's been waiting for this podcast. He's a lot to get off my chest over that Wolves and Liverpool game, over that dross. Keith, you only have to look at my match reaction on the channel. I think I said it all. I called every one of them out, I think.
Are you getting a trademark for the word dross? Because I know that's one of your words, isn't it?
It is. It was the title of the reaction.
Okay.
I think it was Liverpool dross again or something like that.
I know that's one of your words. That's where you're going. I know that's one of yours, so I knew.
Yeah. It's either dross, pathetic, or embarrassing. That's where I tend to go, you know. Yeah. Anyway, let's go. FA Cup. Get your thoughts on the FA Cup as we go down through. Get your predictions, all the usual stuff.
Will we explain to people that we're doing somewhat of a watch along at the minute as well?
100%. They know
on the Spurs relegation battle.
And I've a double one tomorrow night as well.
I saw that.
Yeah.
I saw that.
Yeah.
You boys on tomorrow night? Yeah.
Tomorrow night, 8:00.
Right. I'm making the assumption you pumped them by 2 or 3 on the basis that it's the cup game and not the league game, and it'll just be so much easier.
Really?
Yeah, 100%.
Edwards like rotated that this is the game that was important, and he'll have his what he would regard as his first team back for.
No, I don't.
He said it. He said it in the interview. He made 4 changes.
Well, he made changes, but like I think, and especially when you look at a squad like Wolves, there's nobody nailed down week to week. There's very few players week to week at Wolves who play every single week. Even he rotates goalkeepers at times. So there is an awful lot of changing and chopping and stuff like that. So, you know, he doesn't have a first 11 or second 11. I think they're just players that he likes to fit in and out of pieces and stuff. You know.
Well, you see, I'd say the starting team for tomorrow night will be the team that finished the last 20 minutes the other night. And that's where
maybe, or he starts it with the team that started the other night, and he makes the same sort of changes with 20 minutes to go and presses the button again.
I don't know. What do you think? If we lose tomorrow night, does he go?
I don't think you get rid of him, 8 games for the end of the season there. I don't think so. I just think
it's realistically our last chance at silverware, though, isn't it? Realistically, like.
I don't think you've a fucking snowball's chance of winning anything. And that's not...
Well, if it's going to come anywhere, I'd imagine it's the FA Cup. And don't worry, this is not chest or confidence here. This is...
No, I don't see us
doing anything in the Champions League.
I don't think you'll do anything anywhere.
I don't know. When you look at the teams here now, like there's like, certain teams will have other certain priorities and stuff like that and all, so we'll see. We shall see. Anyway, let's kick it off. Anyway, Fulham versus Southampton. Marco.
I'd like to go Marco, but I do think it might be a tough game at the office for Fulham. Southampton are in pretty good form at the minute. I'm a big championship watcher, and they're playing really, really well there. And they'll certainly give Fulham a game. Now, whether they do enough to get over the line or not, I would not be surprised here to see extra time, though. I think it could be touch and go,
Yeah, they do.
I will say Fulham though, but I think it might be close. We might see extra time.
Yeah, absolutely.
That could be embarrassing. Atletico against Tottenham over 2 legs could get embarrassing.
Could be.
And I have to tell you, we've talked about for a long time, just while we're touching on Spurs.
Similar to Arsenal, though, they've actually played okay in the Champions League.
They've done okay.
Arsenal in the Champions League look a totally different team to the Premier League.
They do.
Because of everything we talk about.
Yeah, well, I spoke to somebody about this today. And if you ask me, what a ball.
Yeah, Bonkers, you're right. He looks leggy, doesn't he, Bonkers? He looks leggy at the moment, Gravenberch. Definitely.
And when I was talking earlier on about it, something I was saying was, I feel like the Premier League teams have a huge advantage in the Champions League or in Europe in general because of the pace of play in the league. If they can get the game up to that kind of a speed, teams from Spain, Italy, Germany will not live with them. They just won't live with them.
What do you make of the other football federations, like making allowances for their teams in the Champions League to give them every opportunity? Like, I think PSG have had the game non-postponed.
That's
so
right.
They're fresh going into the Champions League.
Mm-hmm.
Should there be like a ruling about that or something? Or is it fair that obviously, I mean, the Premier League obviously trundles ahead no matter what. It's the most watched league on the planet and stuff like that. So it's hardly going to be postponed,
Well, your problem is, if there was a rule in the Champions League that, a team can't play for 72 hours before the game, your issue is then getting the league that the team plays in to abide by the rules of the Champions League. Now, unless the teams were to come out in advance and say, whatever rules the Champions League set, we'll abide by them, you're stuck, and that's where difficulty will happen.
I just think, because obviously, they're playing Chelsea. So, they'll have a weekend off to prepare. Chelsea are going to be playing. You know what I mean? It's a little bit unfair, is it?
Oh, it is tough. It's tough. Yeah. And at times we've already said, especially with certain leagues, the French league and stuff like that, they have a relatively easy time anyway. The lads look quite fresh a lot of the time when our lads don't look fresh because of the speed tempo. So I think playing in the Premier League has advantages and disadvantages. You've got a little less in the tank when you go to get there, but if you can stay fresh enough and you can bring that tempo and that physical game to European teams, you'll run all over them. You'll absolutely run all over them.
The physicality is definitely unmatched.
It really is.
What do you make a key shout here on Salah? Does Salah get dropped now? We know how bad he's been performing and stuff like that. You're in the dugout. Do you drop him? Do you keep him on? What do you do?
I think the only issue... Yeah, so I think the only issue I have is, what am I replacing him with? That's my only issue. I think if I have a viable replacement on the bench, I go, okay, take a seat there, pal, will you? Now, we know Rio generally plays from the opposite side.
Absolutely,
he plays more from the left-hand side. He's done a little bit from the right-hand side. But for me, I think he probably just holds his place on the basis that there isn't a ready-made replacement that can go in and could get to that level. Now, I know what you're going to say. What level? I think the output that you can get from a Salah when things work compared to somebody else is where you're going, okay, well, I'm going with what I know works and has worked and will work if we can get a certain set of circumstances to fall the way we want it to,
Has Rio convinced you as a starter over Gakpo? Gakpo's been so poor this season.
I think at the minute I would still slow play Rio. Only because he's a little bit young. I think towards the end of the season like this, what I would do is I would send Gakpo in for the first 60 minutes, get him to try and run at the defenders, get him to try and, drain that battery on the opposite side. And with 30 minutes to go, I would press the button and send the kid on and go and win the game for me, kid. And let him build confidence that way. Get him in the summer again, get a bit more physical stuff done. And then when you come to August, I'd be saying, Rio, this is an opportunity for you to go and solidify a spot in this team. Here's your opportunity. Go and show us what you can do.
Is Liverpool up next for Spurs in the league?
I think it is, yeah.
And Van de Ven banned?
I think it is. Let me see. Spurs.
They've Atletico Madrid and then us?
They've Atletico and then you boys at Anfield.
Oh, God. Maybe we might have something to cheer about this season.
They've poured it on really heavy in the second half, Spurs. So far, I've got it on here in front, and they're pouring it on. That's a great move. Oh, are you getting that? Is he score? Whose is that? And is it? Yeah, it is. And I want to get, it's very difficult at times to look at a team that's not playing great.
They won't have Millwall Aces. They could get promoted. They're bang slapping the playoff positions.
Well, they'd be close, all right. They might shit the bed in the playoffs, but
maybe.
But what I will say is, massive fan of this kid, Archie Gray. He's a much younger player. He's not the tried and tested at Spurs. He's played centre back, centre midfield,
so
right
messed
side.
About this season. So messed about.
But he's gotten great minutes in his and great experience.
Yeah.
And he's played in all these different positions. But I have to say, he's a super footballer. He's playing right back at the minute. And he's just a Rolls Royce.
Darren, he comes with good DNA in fairness.
He absolutely does. He sure does. But he's going to be a superb footballer. Now, whether he's a super footballer,
he was never going to be a golfer.
No. But he, there's a lot of guys that maybe don't live up to the name. This kid's gonna make it up to the name. He's a very, very good baller. This kid, and playing years beyond his younger years. Really is.
He's put in serious mileage this year, all right. Ted, do you know what the problem is? I'd say it's the arrogance of the Premier League. They wouldn't like to be coughing up to the Champions League, whereas other leagues, they're happy enough to bow down to UEFA. I think the Premier League still sees itself as the premier attraction in European and world football.
100%.
So I think it's more that.
It's a dick measuring competition between the Premier League and the Champions League. That's all it is.
Absolutely. But I do think they should find some sort of a happy medium, United have shown what happens when you let young lads become starters after a few decent performances.
I agree, Ted.
Keep them humble. Yeah, spot on, Ted.
I agree. And by the way, I think he's going to be an absolute baller. Absolute baller. The boy Rio.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, I think.
I do. I think he's got all the attributes. He's so direct. He really, really gets defenders turning, gets them going back towards their own goal, makes things uncomfortable. You can see he's thinking moves ahead. Where can I put the ball? Where's the runners? Where's the space? Really, really good baller. Really we're gonna enjoy watching him for the next 10 years, I'd imagine.
Yeah. Big up, Bano. Hope you're good. Thanks for having us on the big screen.
Good evening, Mr. Reggie. How are you, my brother?
Boys, can you find out how many managers Tottenham have had in the last 10 years?
No, Joanne, because it'd take me longer than the fucking podcast episode. So no. How about that one?
We'll get the answer for you for next week, maybe. Hiya, lads. Big up, Phil. How are you? Spurs are good. Just got the result on my phone. I was watching a movie. I watched Saipan today, by the way.
Did you, yeah?
Yes, I did. And you know something? When it was finished, I kind of got a bit nostalgia of what might have been.
Right.
You know what I mean? That's how I felt coming out of it. I didn't feel anything towards Mick or to Roy or to anyone else. I looked at that tournament. We had a fucking great opportunity to do something historic there.
Yeah, possibly. Now,
and you have to have that guy on the pitch, don't you?
Well, you certainly want it. At that stage, he's the best player we have by quite some way. When he gets the best out of people and he drags people along and stuff like that.
Thomas Frank, Palace's number one target. That'd be insane, wouldn't it?
Well, do you not remember we had this conversation 2 weeks ago?
Yeah, we did.
And I said to you, I would not be surprised, because don't forget, Glasner's deal is up. And I said, do not be surprised if we go to a situation where we see Thomas Frank as Crystal Palace manager and Oliver Glasner as Tottenham manager. Do not be surprised to see that.
Not if they get relegated, though.
Who? Listen, not if they get relegated. But if they can stay in the league, I would not be shocked to see Spurs take Glasner and to see Palace take Frank and basically swap. I said this 3 weeks ago, maybe.
Does Glasner at Spurs work for you?
Yes.
It does?
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. And you know what? I actually think Glasner at Spurs isn't stretchy with even the squad they have. I think there's a lot of pieces that would, like Pedro Porro to play as a wing back, Destiny Adogi plays a wing back, right? Absolutely, 100%.
Yeah.
Mickey Van de Ven, Dragusin, Kevin Danso, Christian Romero, all centre back options. I think one of the first things he does is he replaces the keeper. I think he replaces the keeper. Dean Henderson was heavily linked with Spurs when he left Man United, and they didn't punt for him in the end. They punted for Vicario. Just wait and see if they can tempt him across the...
Possibly, yeah.
You know,
Ted, I somewhat agree with you here. Not sticking up for Garnacho or that, but some of those younger players that were playing there was an extremely toxic environment at Man United and stuff like that. And also, it's very difficult to really judge it. You know, not that there's not a little bit of toxicity at Liverpool at the moment. There's a little.
No,
bit
but I think there's a. You know? Me personally, I think there's a bit of a difference. Like even when Garnacho was at United, he didn't necessarily think his own shit smelled. I don't get the same vibes off the kid Engamawa. I just don't.
Yeah, he doesn't kind of have a Rashford in his ear and a lot of other stuff going on. That kind of.
Do you know what? I'm gonna make a bold statement here. I don't imagine that flies in Rayo's household. I reckon Mammy and Daddy would not see that kind of an attitude and would not take that very acceptingly.
We do a lot of homework at Liverpool on family trees as well. We're known for it as well. So I think to agree with you.
Yeah, I think the likelihood is, there's a Nigerian background there. And I know quite a lot of Nigerian people, have quite a few Nigerian friends. And they're not getting excited about anything. It's all about staying humble and about doing the right thing and stuff like that. Whereas I think, with an RG, it's a little bit different. I think, there's that superiority complex anyway, because they already think they're slightly better than we are, no matter what it is they're doing. So,
absolutely. Yeah, Ted, I don't know if you've watched it yet. If you watch it, let me know what you thought afterwards, because I really felt that it was such a missed opportunity, and that one decision between those two personalities breaking down, whether you land with Mick or you land with Roy or somewhere in the middle, it doesn't really matter. But I think it definitely there was an opportunity.
Well, we know where we land. Let's be honest.
Where did you land on it at the time, and did you land on it differently now in hindsight or further on, or did you stick where you began with?
I stuck with where I began with. Now, that has been enforced even more as I found out stuff over, this could be, what is this dope doing? The ball is going over to, see who I'm talking about?
Yeah.
The ball is going over towards the touchline. The subs are getting ready on the touchline. One of the subs is Richarlison. There's a 50-50 between Pedro Porro and Adam Wharton. And as the ball is going towards the touchline, Wharton's trying to keep the ball in play, and Richarlison leans his leg onto the pitch to pull it off. Like, he's a sub, and he's kicked the ball away. Like, what is this lad doing?
I can't, my thoughts on that guy. I can't stand that guy. He's just a shithouse.
He is just a shithouse.
Him and Dean Henderson would be some combination, wouldn't they?
Yeah, dangerous, all right.
Yeah.
I have to say, I at the time had a huge issue with Roy walking out in his country, regardless of what the pitch looked like, what the conditions were like, how amateur or how professional the setup may have been. I don't think you go to a World Cup and you walk out on your country very lightly. And I think at that stage, it was as much about Roy and his ego. And I don't.
Well, we know the relationship with Mick is very fractured as well. It's gone back on a number of things as well. It wasn't this was just the fuse that lit the bomb, really, wasn't it?
Well, so here's the thing: if that's what you're waiting on to get you there, you weren't waiting on a whole lot. You know what I mean? So, I'm certainly not suggesting it was premeditated.
You should watch it actually. Because
I will.
It goes through a phase of how much irritated he was getting day on day.
Yeah, and I will watch it. Yeah. But my opinion on that has only ever been compounded to make it seem even more so.
Yeah.
And we've talked about it. I'm not a Roy Keane fan. There are certain elements of Roy Keane that I can be accepting of. I think he's excellent on the overlap. I think I don't think he's as good on Sky as he is on the overlap.
Yeah.
I think he can be a bit farcical when he's looking at games and he's doing the commentary and stuff like that. And I do think he's a phenomenal footballer, and I will give him his flowers on that. But there's other things, and I'm just like, this lad just irritates me. He just, he doesn't do it for me at all. So it is what it is.
The problem is it's very hard to judge it. Like, you should never walk out on your country in that situation. But then the other side of that is, we know this is a guy who had huge standards even at Man United, to the point where his standards at Man United nearly, more or less brought him down in the end even there. You know what I mean? Somewhat. And I just think, there's a lot to be said both ways as well. And if you look at, now the movie is more like a kind of a dramatization of things and all. It might not be exactly.
Of course it is.
But if it's even somewhat close to the truth and all, it must have been horrific to be dealing with it. Like, you'll love it when they come down the first morning for breakfast. It's just, the scene is just fucking insane. It's unreal. It's unreal. And if there's any truth to that, he should have went over and started boxing the head off Mick McCarthy straight away, to be honest. It's just for fun.
And again,
Tottenham only 8 managers in 10 years. Forest have had 4 in the last 8 months.
Not something we'd have been surprised at either, though.
No. I was with Roy at the time and still am with him. I get that he shouldn't have lost it as much as he did, but the points he made were right. They were right, but I don't know whether there was enough in it
do you lose sight of the fact that he may have been right because of how he did something? Do you know? So for me, I don't see an excuse at all.
Do you know what it is as well? It's the fact that even after making the point and everything coming out, he was still given an olive branch to come back in. He was rang and asked, "Do you want to play for your country?" And he made it about Mick and the FAI, didn't he?
He made it about something other than what it
should
have been
somewhere
about.
along the line, Ireland got lost in the whole thing, really. You know what I mean? That's the problem.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, no, it's a great watch, though. What day does the World Cup?
Opening game.
Are we mid-June? Is it?
It's definitely June. Yeah.
Yeah, June 15th, 16th, or something sounds.
Don't know if it's that early.
But haven't they brought everything much earlier? Isn't everything brought a little bit back when you look at some of the finals and stuff, I think?
I'm not sure. I'm going to have a look now.
Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe it's a little bit. Because remember, it normally ends, doesn't it? Normally end around second week in July.
Let's see here now.
It normally takes, the guts of a month?
Let us see. Will they give us... They might give us on the players. Mickey van de Ven. Profile. Matches. April. Okay. The international friendlies, World Cup. Netherlands play on the 14th of June in the World Cup against Japan.
There, wasn't far off.
So
I was thinking that with a kind of a first or second week in July finish, you'd need that kind of time, 98 days until the World Cup begins. There you go.
Awesome.
Solanke missed a sitter. There we go. Niall, will you be doing a watch along during the World Cup? I'm not too sure. Depends on what time.
Depends who gets there.
Yeah.
Depends who gets there.
Yeah. Nearly 4-1 Palace. Interesting. Right, let's run down quickly on these FA Cup then. Port Vale, Sunderland. Newcastle, Man City.
Man City.
Leeds, Norwich.
Daniel Farke against his old side. Norwich in good form at the minute. Leeds will rest players, but get over the line. Leeds about to score.
Mansfield, Arsenal. Wolves, Liverpool. Happy days. Wrexham, Chelsea. See the boys are doing
seeing that, yeah.
See the commentary thing? That's going to be class.
Yeah. Chelsea and both to score.
Mm-hmm. West Ham, Brentford. At the London City.
West Ham. Because I think, I'm not 100% sure, but I think Nuno will want to continue with building good habits, getting results, building confidence and stuff like that. Whereas Brentford won't. They will make changes, and I think with the changes they make, it'll be enough to give West Ham the edge.
Make changes in regard that they're more concerned about the Premier League.
Absolutely.
In the position that they're in at the moment.
Absolutely. And rightly so.
Interesting. Where are we? 2-0 to Liverpool, Joanna's saying. Hopefully, Joanna. Do I think this will sicken me as well? Even though if it happens, I'll be happy enough. But it'll be like, where was this the other fucking night, lads, when we had that opportunity? You know what I mean?
There'll be a degree of that, 100%.
Yeah. Do you see Villa and Leeds and Sunderland all release St. Paddy's Day merchandise?
And Everton as well.
I seen the Villa one looked amazing. That's the only one I've seen.
It all looks insane.
The Villa one looked really, really nice. I think Paul McGrath was on the ad for it.
Paul McGrath was in the Villa one.
Great.
Niall Quinn was in the Sunderland one.
And it was that real nice green as well with the gold. Really nice. Always a great combination.
Is this a penalty?
Not too sure. I was looking at our screen. Arsenal 7-0, Joanne reckons. Surely you'll rotate heavily, Joanne, for this. Wrexham 2-0 against Chelsea, Joanne.
Don't think he'll get it for that now. I don't think he'll get a penalty. I'm sure they're looking at it, but I don't think
2-1 Newcastle versus City. Interesting.
Newcastle were excellent last night. Absolutely superb. I'm not going to say, we were unlucky, we did this, we did that. Newcastle were superb last night. They defended well, they attacked well, they brought real intensity to the game. They were the better side on the night for me, and the goal is an absolute worldie.
Do you know what absolutely, yeah, absolutely. 100%. It was as good a finish as that boy will ever hit.
And actually, because I got into a conversation last night over this, somebody in a WhatsApp group that I'm in questioned Senna Lamens.
No.
Now, I would say question very gently, very, very gently, but unfortunately that was not going to go very well.
No. Not in the goalkeeping fraternity
let me just.
We did have a conversation about the boy Malacia, though. Only last week, I think, didn't we?
Yep. Now, I've said it before, but Lamon's positioning and footwork from shots outside the box is a concern. He's been brilliant otherwise, but that's 3 or 4 goals he's helped look unstoppable. Now, I go into the technical points of goalkeeping with this person, and eventually I think, would I describe it as pummeled him into submission? I think maybe. But
wouldn't be your forte at all now, to out-comment people to death. Just ask Ted in the chat. Let's be honest here.
And the crazy thing is, I never comment in this other group ever.
So you made up for last time, yeah?
There's how many group? There's 56 group members in this WhatsApp chat. Lovely, lovely lads. I just don't seem to have the same amount of time as these lads have. So I generally don't get into it. But when I saw that last night, I was like, hold on a fucking moment here. And I decided to go into it and blah, blah, blah. And I made a bold statement. And I'm going to tell you what I said. And I know you already agree with me. And we haven't spoken about this. I know you'll already agree with me.
Listen, unless the goalkeeper's Onana, we're not going to go against most goalkeepers, are we? In fairness.
He wanted to know, I made the quote and I said, just so we all know where we are, I don't think there's a keeper alive that saves that strike. I don't care who it is. I think that beats everybody. And I think it beats everybody for a couple of reasons. Number one, he uses Harry Maguire as the shield. So the keeper can't have direct view, which means making his set with his feet is quite difficult because he can't see. If he sets after the ball is struck, he's now behind the ball. The fastest object on the pitch is the ball. You're not going to catch up with the ball. It's too quick. So if he sets after the ball, after your man takes the shot, he's dead in the water. If you look at it from that point of view, he's in trouble. But then if you add the fact the ball starts 2 feet outside the post and whips back in at high speed.
Yeah.
Right. And I love the angle from behind.
And the ball literally hit the net just beside the post. So like it's as wide as he can possibly get it. Like he can't get it any wider, or it hits the post and comes out.
I've just watched like 5 subs, 16 United players. And your man wanted to have a conversation about the goalkeeper. And I was like, what? Am I sorry, what? Like, Jesus Christ. Anyway, I'd say there's a few people in the group this morning are thinking, or today, I hope that lad goes back to not commenting.
Yeah, could that snail go back into his shell, please?
I think so. I think so.
Absolutely. Big up, Kyle. How are you, my friend? He says there's a time for him to start believing.
Oh, look at this. They're even starting to crawl out from under the fucking stones. Get out of that, won't you? Fucking hell. Good to see you, pal. I was only thinking, do you know what? As true as I'm fucking sitting here talking to you now, right?
Yeah.
I was thinking this morning, big night last night, City dropping 2, Arsenal picking up 3, and I thought of 4. I thought of 5 Arsenal fans, and Kyle was one of them. Kyle and Del Boy and Morris. And I have a cousin called Paul, which I talk to you about him all the time, big Arsenal fan. And I have a kid called Mark that I know, also big Arsenal fan. And I thought of the 5 lads, and I said, if they do get there, it'll be nice for the lads.
Ted thinks Lamens gets viewed better than he thinks he is. If I'm replacing this. Because of who he's replacing? I don't know. Well, he's a young kid as well for a keeper, Ted. You know what I mean?
He's so steady. It's fucking scary. He looks like a guy who could be 30 playing in goal, and he's not. He's 23 or whatever he is. Yeah. Like, he's beyond his years.
There's not too many people in the league make Archie Gray look young.
Right. And the other thing I will tell you is his handling is superb. He spills nothing.
Yeah.
Like, it's just, the reactions are good. We have a goalkeeper that can now come and claim a cross. Oh, is this, he taps the ball around with the feet. I think he's phenomenal. I really do.
Yeah.
I really do. Is he the 4th best keeper we've had in the Premier League history? That's what Ted said, right?
Yeah.
I think behind the obvious Schmeichel, Van der Sar and De Gea, I think that's right. I would agree. Even with 20 games under him or whatever he's had, I would agree with that.
Well, if that's the case and that's who he's behind, then probably you could argue he's not being bigged up enough. Not that he's being bigged up too much.
Well, is it that, or is it that, what's been underneath him hasn't reached the level that we thought? Because we've spent big money on keepers over the years and they've never hit the heights,
Yeah.
But I will say, I would agree. I think, 4th behind the 3 lads.
Big show for a young lad, isn't it? Fair play.
Did you see the video of Gary Neville? They were talking to Edwin van der Sar, and he asks him, who's the best goalkeeper in the world, or who's the best goalkeeper of all time, or blah de blah. And Van der Sar says Schmeichel. I thought that was really cool. Thought that was really cool. Yeah. Nice touch from one G to another.
One G to another, yeah, absolutely. Right. Let's get into this and talk about this. We won't spend too long on this one, obviously, but how are you feeling? No. International break, nearly a month now.
I feel like I'd like to take
4 weeks into the league at that stage.
I feel like I'd like to take a 22-day holiday in Iran, to be honest with you. Like, that's how much I want that to happen. Terrible. Absolutely. Now, I know the theory behind it.
Keep them with Tayibi.
Do you know what I mean, Keith? Like,
So he shares a
doesn't have
bunk with Onana. He shares a bunk with
doesn't.
Onana.
Or as me pal calls him, oh no.
Yeah. Oh no, yeah.
I do think I like the idea of putting the two windows together. I just wish we could do it with a little less of a, of a break. But I do like the idea of putting them together.
Yeah, it's just going to be tough. It's a tough month then, isn't it? Like, because it's like...
Well, you only kick off, and you're only back. You got a month from, say, 19th of August to 19th of September. And then you've 3 weeks off mid-season. You're like, what do we do
but
then?
You also have...
Do we have to go back to talk? Do we have to go back to talking to our wives and kids at that stage?
At that stage, we want the AFCON happening, don't we? That's what
now,
we
in
want.
fairness, we'll feel like we haven't had a break because the World Cup will be on as well.
Yeah. The only thing about this is they start for about 4 or 5 weeks, say, in the league.
Yeah.
And whatever else. You might even get a Carabao Cup game in there early enough. I'm not too sure. And then they take the break. But my biggest concern is, let's suppose you start off the league and you're flying. Let's suppose your first 5 games, you win 5 games.
You lose the rhythm.
And then what happens then if the lads go off and you pick up 3 or 4 or 5 injuries?
And
on a month-long of international break? And you've spoke about it before. Not
plausible.
necessarily the same facilities, depending on who you're playing.
Pitches,
refereeing,
the whole shooting match. Somebody lets a couple of tackles go and all of a sudden you've a lad with a broken ankle and then it's good night, Irene,
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Yeah, big up, Coyle. Like it's so close now. I'm sure you can taste it. It's so close now. I'm sure you can taste it. Funny enough, you listen to some of the content creators at the moment. They'd be happy enough for Arsenal to win and still want Arteta gone. As crazy as that is, isn't it? There you go.
Does that shock you?
In some quarters, no, not at all.
No, it just does not shock me. Now, what I'll say is, and this is not, this is not to throw shade at Arsenal.
You wouldn't be a man now for throwing shade on this podcast at all.
No, absolutely not. and I don't want to, what did my dad used to say? There's no point pouring water on a drowned rat.
Yeah.
But like some of it's hard to watch. Like some of it is.
But right. Paul, we're going to get onto that. We're about to talk about it. This is why I'm there.
I'm like, some of it is like, oh my God, what am I watching here? Like this is...
I want everyone's opinion in the chat on this as well. The narrative going around at the moment. You heard Ruud Gullit saying it's unwatchable. You can't watch it anymore. You heard Yaya Toure after the game the other day, after the Chelsea game. We've heard Obi Mikel talking about it. Slot came out and spoke about it, which I find very weird because he's as much part of the problem as he is part of the, I loved watching that Barcelona team. The whole fucking world did. What are you talking about?
The only people didn't enjoy watching them was the team they were absolutely going through the back door of at that stage. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. What's your general feeling at the moment? I mean, obviously VAR is having a huge impact. It's sucking the good out of it. You can't celebrate or enjoy it. Where you want the results to be like, I know, but just, what do we say every week? Like this
VAR,
weekend,
I have to say.
But what do we say all the time? I'm really enjoying the FA Cup games because there's no VAR.
VAR is making stuff real difficult, I have to say.
Yeah.
And
100%.
like it's not lost on me that these are obviously very, very important decisions. They can be very, very expensive decisions if they go right or wrong.
But did you see that first goal tonight disallowed? The bridge of your man's fucking nose. Like the fucking bridge of his nose.
That for me is the referee's having an absolute nightmare here with the two-way radio. Yeah. He's already been down the tunnel and had to change it. Now he's playing around with it again. And I imagine this is adding more and more extra time onto this. Now there's 5 minutes left plus added time. But we'll definitely see 100 minutes here.
It's the same 2 weeks ago in the City game as well, didn't we? Was the City game or the Arsenal game? Remember the fucking earpiece he was acting up?
Spurs have a free kick here, and failing Spurs scoring here, I think this is good night. If Spurs could get one here and make it 3-2, they could make it dicey for the last few minutes. Xavi Simons standing over the ball.
And even in this position at the moment, even a point is massive.
I would think so.
Yeah.
I would think so, which is crazy. Yeah. He's setting up to it. He's got the right foot underneath the ball. He's going to take his steps back. Vicario's up at the halfway line. He's having a chat. Vicario's not. He's way over the halfway line. Big intake of breath, steps up to the ball, right foot, and
hold that thought, Ted. We have it on the next slide.
Oh, mother of God!
We have it on the next slide.
He set up to take that right, like he was Johnny Wilkinson about to take the last conversion to win the World Cup, and he hit some lad shin guard in the wall.
Like, are we
getting in the dressing room and I punch the head off him.
Yeah.
Like, we're 3-1 down, we're at home, you're 22 yards from goal, somebody's paying you 150 fucking bricks a week. Get the fucking thing on target. Get it on target. This is where at times I would almost agree with Roy Keane and say sometimes there's a celebration of mediocrity, which is scary.
Yeah, absolutely. What's your general feeling if looking in as fans? Like, we know, I know we look at our own games quite intently and stuff like that because we like to analyze and stuff like that. But more and more games I tend to be looking at, and me and you were chatting on WhatsApp and we're on our phones and we're quite distracted, whereas before we would be kind of glued to it a bit. I find I get easily distracted now because I just get fucking so bored at times.
But also, and we spoke about this a few weeks, football is saturated at the minute. So we know if we miss something, we're going to see 46 replays of it. It's going to be on Twitter, Instagram, X, Facebook, YouTube, and fucking on the back of a milk carton. So we will not miss out, whether it's a tackle, a goal, something a manager does, a refereeing decision, a lad in the crowd with a sign. It'll be somewhere. So you can have moments where you go, I can zone out here.
Well, I was talking to people the other day about this. The only live TV I watch generally is football or wrestling. Everything else I always watch on the replay or whenever it fits into my schedule. I'm not one of these guys that's Coronation Street at 7:30 and is.
No.
But you know what I mean.
Well,
I don't have to sit in front of a telly at any time.
The systems have made it that way as well.
Yeah.
And like some people will watch them on the replay because they can fast forward the ads and save themselves 4 or 5 minutes on the program or do this or that. But yeah, for me, football and wrestling are generally, or any sport really, it's a sports thing. I want to see sports happening now. I don't want to see it happen on the replay. I have no interest in watching that on the replay.
Well, exactly, because you're so drenched on social media and everything else, there's really no point, you know what I mean?
No. Yeah. Well, you know yourself, when, I'm on certain wrestling forums and stuff like that, and they've no spoiler rules. And I'm like, lads, how are you going to have a no spoiler rule? You want any social media, the first 10 posts are going to be about what happened. Like,
yeah, well, I didn't see the football last night because I was doing the wrestling podcast. And when I came off it straight away, within 2 minutes, I fired my phone back up. Because normally my phone here, I switch off my Wi-Fi and all and my ringer and all because I don't want to
go into the airplane mode and something.
Yeah. So like once I switched that back on straight away, the first 3 things, I think, videos on my X feed where the Asula goes, the goal. So like
there you go.
So you can't
there's no escaping. I did see something today, and I don't know whether you saw this. I thought this was very, very cool. Let's try that one again. Somebody put it into a group, and when I saw, I thought to myself, that's very, very cool. And it was William Asula. And it was... Here we go now. Manchester United had this up on their X account, yeah? And it was congratulations to 11-year-old William Asula from Denmark, winner of today's Man United Soccer Schools World Skills Final. And this was from the 8th of November, 2014. And there he is in the United gear at Old Trafford. And he's being presented with the trophy by Brian Robson and Gary Pallister. And he won a worldwide search for the Man United Soccer Skills World Final Skills. And 12 years later, he puts the winner passes at St. James's Park.
So the likelihood in the summer, you'll probably sign him.
No, but that is just, isn't that just?
Yeah.
Sorry, as much as I want to see Spurs get relegated, how they've come up with 5 minutes of added time when the referee spent 10 minutes down the tunnel is beyond me. Like, absolutely beyond me.
Should be a VAR check on the added on time.
And on top of that, there's been 5 substitutes and 3 yellow cards in the second half. And there's 5 minutes of added time. Sorry, lads, someone's not doing the maths right here.
Question for you on this topic before we move off it. Are we in an age now where, dare I say, is the flair of a player, the street flair of a player and all that, being coached and tactically taken out of the game? And are we less and less seeing the likes of Musialas and the Yamin Lamals and the Wayne Rooneys and all the Robbie Fowlers of this world?
The system is spoiling that. I mean, we look at somebody like a Jack Grealish, who was one of those sort of cage footballers, taking a ball in a 5-a-side, stud roll, dropping a shoulder, chop in, chop out, use his body, brilliant footballer at Aston Villa, to this mechanical robot at Manchester City. And it just did not suit him. And because of that, you didn't get anything near the levels. But that was taken out of him by Pep Guardiola, because Pep Guardiola wanted him to get down the line, square up the fullback, and when he couldn't, when he got one-on-one with the fullback, rather than trying to go past him and possibly coughing the ball up, come back inside, recycle and reset it and go the other way, and bring it back across the 18-yard line and reset it and go and change the shape and change the direction.
60, 70 passes for an opportunity. Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Rough. Yeah.
It's so difficult to watch.
I just think, do you know what I think? When I was reading this the other day and all, and the article and all, I was thinking kind of like, when we had a Spria and Bearcamp and, all these players that, these players we describe as the ones who get you out of your seat the minute they receive the ball.
Yeah, Gianfranco Zola.
There's so less of them now, isn't there?
Yeah, well, I don't know if there's less of them. I still think we've got amazingly talented footballers. I think the problem is, because the game has become a business, because it's so financial, clubs can't take risks with players like that. They can't have a player out on the pitch rolling the dice, hoping if it works, it comes off great. If it doesn't, because if it doesn't come off and we go a goal down and we lose a game,
have those players nearly become a coach's nightmare within their own team?
To a degree, yeah, I would say so. Because like if we look around the league, there's plenty of players that we can look at and go, he can be that guy, but like, and if we go back to City, right, and I think there's pluses and minuses to this with the boy Ryan Cherky. We saw this kid at Lyon. We saw what he does at the French at the French camp in Clairefontaine. The goals and the corners and the volleys and the Rabonas and the rainbow flicks and all of this stuff. And he's just an unbelievable footballer. Now, so far, he's been able to do really, really well. He's created a lot and he scored some goals at City. But he's had to adapt the playing style, because Guardiola will not have him be that guy with the ball and, that's weaving in and out and having a good touch here and a bad touch here. Guardiola will not have that, So I personally think something that's really important is, if I'm a player like a Ryan Cherky, and if I'm a player like a Jack Grealish, and somebody like a Manchester City comes in for me, I'm gonna make an awful lot of money, right? Because they're paying big bucks. Like Mark He's on 300 grand a week. I get it. They're gonna be involved in the latter stages of competitions. They're going to be lifting silverware and trophies. They're going to be playing in Europe. They're going to be treated unbelievably. Is it good for me as a footballer, though, to play in that system and to play with those kind of constraints around me? Me personally, I don't think so.
Well, the problem is that system is probably prevalent throughout football. So it depends kind of where you go.
I think it's
just at a slightly lower level, you know what I mean?
So, okay, listen, we know if you're talking about somebody like a Simeone.
Yeah.
System. There's not a whole lot of room for flair, right? And a Guardiola, he's fairly similar. But if I look in other places, I'm going, yeah, he wants players to do something, to be able to open a door to, do you know what I mean? So
like if you go back to maybe an old school, like a David Moyes who says to Jack Grealish, come to Everton and go out there and express yourself.
Right.
Yeah.
Look at
But that's very
the
few
kind
and
of
far between, isn't it?
look at the kind of players, right? And I'm going to touch on someone. Look at Marco Silva at Fulham, right? He doesn't want players higher up the pitch that are safe.
Mm.
He wants a Smith Rowe, a Harry Wilson, an Oscar Bob, a Samuel Chukwueze, a Kevin. He wants these match winners who can do something.
Mavericks.
He can keep structure between the goalkeeper, the back four, and the two midfielders, which means he has space for four players, possibly a fifth playing in the double pivot, right? Who can then just go and win a game for him. And he usually uses Alex Iwobi as that player who can be the creative, win the ball, but he lets guys, express themselves. And it has to be lovely to play for. And it's no surprise then that what happens is you end up with guys who have come down from a bigger club where structure didn't work for them. And then they come in and they start playing. And all of a sudden you're like...
Grealish at Everton.
Harry Wilson,
Wilson.
The same thing. I fully expect the boy Oscar Bob next season to be unbelievable for Fulham, provided Silva stays. Because I know Silva will give him a platform to go and play. And this kid just needs game time.
Yeah.
He's had a couple of injuries, but talent levels are through the roof.
Yeah, we've seen how good he is. We know what's there. We know what's there. Yeah, I just say it, I suppose, from us because, nearly the sporting element nearly has been sucked out of this, and it's basically an entertainment package that they present to us week in, week out, It's a big part of our escapism out of the trials and tribulations and the day-to-day grind of life. Football lifts us out of that. But at times, interesting.
I'm laughing. Do you know why I'm laughing?
No.
I'm watching Dean Henderson with the Palace fans.
He is shithouse 101.
He's gone over to the Palace fans and he's giving it the waka waka hey.
Could he not have gone over? Could he not have gone over to fucking Richarlison and give it large?
Well, I tell you where he couldn't have gone. He couldn't have gone over in front of the Spurs fans because there is nobody fucking left.
There, yeah.
It is like a graveyard. It's like a graveyard.
What are they going to do next season when they're playing Lincoln and they can only charge 20 quid a ticket?
Oh, imagine it.
Or there'll be about a pocket of 5,000 fans down in the bottom corner and that's it.
Imagine it. Can you imagine it? Oh my God.
Imagine the number Millwall will do on that stadium if they stay down. They fucking wreck it.
Destroy it.
Oh, man.
They will burn that shit down. There won't be a seat.
They won't
left
care about
your
the Taylor Swift concerts. They won't care about Tom Brady and the Patriots. They won't care about your Formula One karting. They'll wreck the place.
Mother of God, they'll kill it.
We'll move on because at times I get depressed. Right, talk to me about this. Two things want to come out of this. One, no points for a 0-0, and the second one is obviously this offside clear kind of space, if you want, or whatever it is.
Yeah, I'm fine with the no points for 0-0. I'm fine with that. I really am.
Yeah.
I'm fine with that. We spoke about it, obviously. I think that works for me. It means you don't get a team going to sit in from the first minute till the 91st, and I like that. Teams have to come out and try and play, and there's rewards for that. Let's say.
I'd love to go back over this season and look at all the 0-0s and take those points away and see what the table looks like. Be interesting to do it. Take a bit of work now, but be interesting to do it.
From what I believe, there's not as many of them as we talk about.
Yeah.
But, it's still... Like, if you're having one a week, it's 10%.
Yeah.
Do you know?
Might be a big impact more down, the bottom and the relegation places and stuff than it would be
when teams play each other. Yeah. When when there's it's a relegation 6-pointer, it's as much about not getting beaten as winning the game.
Because generally, if you look at say the top 8-10 teams in the league, it's unusual they would play out 0-0s because there's too much talent there.
Unless they generally cancel each other out, or two goalkeepers have just two worldies, and that can happen.
Yeah, but most unusual.
Yeah, absolutely. I don't like the offside, and I mentioned it to you. I don't like this. For me, I don't like the space between the player. I think that's an awful lot of space. I think that's gone the other way.
Definitely as well, sometimes in this position where you have a defender turning, but you have a forward player on his toes.
So changing directions can,
very difficult.
absolutely. So for me, and I mentioned it, I think it's got to be measured on the foot. So if we look at that top one there, let's say the player in yellow is the attacking player. Yeah. Their foot is furthest along. Their yellow boot is the closest to the goal. If we just use the boots, therefore they're offside. Yeah. If we use it the opposite way and we say that the player in white is the attacking player, their red boot is behind the yellow boot, therefore they're onside. And just use the boot that's touching and making contact with the ground. It's very simple.
Ted, we actually, myself and Darren in the car spoke about this, that sometimes you can get a 0-0 that's a really, really good game.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Plenty of opportunities, but like Darren said, you get two keepers that just have worldies and just it doesn't go in. But we also made the point the other day that they're also few and far between as well.
So few and far between.
It's generally a tough watch. You know?
Paul Merson watched Bournemouth and Brentford the other night. Or at the weekend for Sky. And Simon Thomas said to him, Merce, describe that game for me, will you? And Merce turned straight to the camera, had his little specs on, his little jumper, and he says, root canal. You know, and like, nobody wants to spend the money people are spending to go to watch these games, maybe pay for a hotel, flights, travel, all of this, to sit and watch root canal because it suits the guys to get a draw each and everyone get a step closer up the table. And because at times it can be a draw of convenience for everybody, you know?
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Ted's back in again. I think this newly proposed rules is going to have the same issues. Does he have a toe onside, etc.? I think the top one is offside, but looking, I can just see without it being a toe or a shot. So you know what I find about the offside situation? They were supposed to bring in the semi-automated stuff that the decisions are made quick, like what happens in Europe and stuff like that, and it just, boom, it's offside and it triggers and you get a thing on the watch and it's done. And it didn't have to go down the whole road of tearing up the rule book and trying to figure out what everything else is going on. This was supposed to be the whole idea of the semi-offside thing, you know, so kind of weird that way. Right, let's fire out our predictions for Division 1 and the Premier League. We start off with Division 1 in the Irish League. Bray Wanderers at loan.
You're not doing this to me again, are you?
I am. Because there's some of your predictions have been all right, in fairness. And I am doing a watch-along tomorrow night for your team now.
That's okay. They at least play in the top division. Like, what are we watching here? Some of these lads don't have dressing rooms.
You're a big fan of the Championship.
I know, but the Championship's level ahead of the Electricity League, level alone League 1. It's not relative. Don't be funny with me now, Noel. Come on, I like you. Bray Wanderers and Bray Wanderers and Athlone.
Sorry if that Portaloo didn't meet your standards, Roy.
Score draw.
Perfect. Cove, Cork. The Battle of Cork.
Cork all the way.
Yeah, I think Cork are going to be the team, ready?
I would have thought so.
Finn Harps, Wexford. That's quite a journey.
That is a spin. That's got to be 5 hours now.
Oh, I would have thought so. I would have thought so
too. Finn Harps because they're home.
Kill.
Because they haven't spent 4 hours or 5 hours on a bus.
Would Wexford not be flying up now?
To Finn Harps?
Holy
jeez.
With that Portaloo.
I was like, whoa.
Treaty versus Kerry.
Battle of the big boys here, isn't it? Treaty because they're home.
It's a show. That'd be their first points. 3 games, 3 losses. Goal difference -4. And Longford versus the Students. I know you're going to go with the Students, aren't you?
Score draw.
Okay, interesting. Right, let's get into the Premier Division then.
Here we go. Now let's get down to the real business end of things.
Brass tacks, as they say.
What does JR say? Business is picked up.
Yeah, business is picked up. Galway Dundalk.
Galway. Yeah.
Waterford Bohemians.
Waterford Bows.
Bows are flying at the moment. See the game last
Bows
week?
are flying. Bows are flying. Yeah, I was impressed with Bows last Friday night, I have to tell you now. I was very impressed with them.
Dismantled Rovers.
They did. And I think on that, you'd have to just go Bows, but I'll go Bows 2-1. It won't be as easy as we think.
No, Waterford normally a tough place to go, are we?
Yeah, it can be.
Rovers Derry.
Yeah, Derry, obviously, the comeback kids last week, weren't they? They were 2-0 down at half-time and won it 4-2. The late show, I think the boy
James McLean, welcome to Tala.
Yeah. Oh, that could be interesting, actually. That could be very interesting. Although I'm sure there's quite a few like-minded people to James out there in sunny Tala. So yeah.
I can't imagine they sell a lot of poppies up in the Tala Square.
Wouldn't have thought so.
No,
wouldn't have thought so. Let's go score draw.
Shelbourne St. Pat's, the match, the second part of the watch along that we'll be doing tomorrow night. Along with
this will be a decent enough game, I would have thought. This will be a decent enough game. Pats with a big win last week. Shell's getting over the line as well. Shell's unbeaten, but not really hitting the heights just yet, you know.
It's going to that 5-match Liverpool run or that 10-match Liverpool run.
Yeah, a little bit.
Good stuff, but nothing to get excited about.
I'm going to go score draw again.
Score draw. I hope there'll be goals in it anyway, that's for sure. Sligo draw.
We'll go the Drogs.
There we go. That's it. Anything else you want to bring up? Anything else you want to add?
Nah, man. I'm all good in the hood.
How you feeling about Carrick?
Yeah, listen, last night was tough, but as I said, Newcastle haven't been great at home so far this season. It's a completely different story though when Man United come to town, and that can be the way along the road. You know,
lot of conversation about him at the moment. Is he for you? Is he? I know it's a small sample so far, but is he in the conversation for you, or do you need something more?
Oh yeah, I actually spoke to someone about this, and I think this is how it'll play out. So I think initially he wasn't in the conversation. But I think he wasn't in the conversation because United had their sights set on bigger and better names. Now, Thomas Tuchel looks like he's signed back on with England, which for me is a relief because he is the last man I would have wanted to see in the Old Trafford dugout. Hot take. I'd have taken Gareth Southgate over Thomas Tuchel. Fact.
Yeah, he's kind of an 18-month and then a fallout, isn't he?
Yeah. So
he's kind of, there's a whiff of Conte sort of off him, isn't there?
Very much so.
Yeah.
So the fact that he's signed back on with England, that works for me. Whether
now, having said that, you'd probably win shit with him now. He could deliver silverware potentially. That's only
just too damaging.
Yeah, I know.
You know.
Yeah.
So not for me. So him signing on with England's a good thing. We don't look at him now. Ancelotti will possibly sign on again with Brazil. Nagelsmann will possibly do the same with Germany. And the talk is Maurizio Pochettino could be part of the conversation going back to Spurs. So all of a sudden, this plethora of managers that we were going to have a choice of
ain't there,
has been shrunken. And we still got an Oliver Glasner, you know, who was, again, I mentioned him right from the very start. It was always meant to be a German. That's apparently what was coming from behind the scenes with Christopher Favell and stuff like that. And he seems to get his way on a lot, Favell. So we may go down the Oliver Glasner route. I wouldn't be opposed to that. I would be okay with that. But because all of these lads now look like they have gigs, the pool of people who you're looking at has gotten smaller. In which case, if Palace or if Carrick is now part of that conversation and what he's done has been a preempt or an interview, if he does well and gets us a Champions League spot, is it hard to shoo him out the door? I think at that stage, you give him a 3-year deal and you go, roll the dice, pal, show us what you can do.
I suppose the only thing that affects it is probably the way Ollie played out. That's the only thing I would say that they might be a little bit concerned in the background. I know they're not the same and all, but yeah, it's a real tough one, isn't it? Because it's kind of, you could look back on it in time and go, we missed the boat there on something,
There's always going to be that FOMO, that fear of missing out.
Yeah.
Especially when you've had somebody in the building and stuff like that. I don't think he's done an awful lot wrong, Carrick, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
And I wouldn't be opposed to it. I think the biggest issue at the moment isn't necessarily the manager. And if we look at last night, you're in a game at Newcastle. It's 1-1. You're going to try and win the game. What's he got on the bench?
Yeah.
He had a mad. He brought him on. He had Xerxes for another big body, and Xerxes was unlucky. Ramsdale made a great save from him and stuff like that, but he doesn't really have a whole lot to go for. He's got a lot of kids. He's got a lot of defenders. There is a few injuries, but the squad needs a little bit of fine-tuning in areas.
Especially going into next season, if you're going to have Champions League, Premier League, Champions League, Premier League, and you're going to have
it's going to mean
that squad won't stand.
Well, it's going to mean some of these kids are going to become part of the first team squad. I expect Cheetah Wobie to be part of the first team squad next year.
Yeah.
Regardless of who we sign, Cheetah Wobie, Harry Amas, Shay Lacey, probably the Fletcher boys, right? But they're lads that are going to get games or 15 or 20 minutes here or there to bring them along with the nucleus of what you have, and then you add quality, which you add to the starting 11, and which drips down and feeds into the bench as well. Because don't forget, there's a lot of names leaving there this summer. Jadon Sancho won't come back to Man United. Marcus Rashford, there's money on the table for. Rasmus Højlund will leave. Casemiro will leave. Tom Heaton will leave. Bayindra will probably head out the door.
Talk of Bruno as well.
Bruno looks like he's going to sign a new deal.
Okay.
Bruno, there's a conversation happening apparently at the moment, and Bruno looks like he'll possibly sign a new deal with new terms.
Looking at what we did with Salah, do you think that's a good idea, or do you think it's time to get the money and not say move on from the boy, because he's been your best player in this horrific kind of period for the club? You know what I mean?
Yeah, I think you have options. You either decide, like we spoke about, that you're going to sell him and buy a replacement out of what you get from a Cole Palmer, or you're going to build around him and let him be the focal point. Do I think?
Which are you leaning towards? Which you thinking?
I'm a huge Bruno fan.
I know.
I'm a huge Bruno fan.
That's why I'm asking.
Yeah, no, I am. And
that's why last year the decision on Salah was so tough for a lot of Liverpool fans.
Absolutely. Like, in hindsight, Liverpool fans would say we missed the boat. We should have sold him and taken the money right now. And I don't want to be in a situation where I go, fuck, we should have sold him and got the money.
And the thing is, we would have never expected the drop off if you look at last season.
Never.
It's insane.
And if it's possible for a Salah, why is it impossible for it not to happen to a Bruno? Do you know what I mean? I know they're different.
That's why I'm asking you. That's why
Salah relies more on scoring goals, which we know is a harder thing to do than create or set tempo, or do you know what I mean?
But Bruno's in the middle of that physical battle in that midfield as well, and moving into that 10 slot and all. He
is. But so again, he'll get more of the ball and have to do less with it. Do you know?
But he's also putting in a very different shift, because he's covering so much yardage as well.
But the thing is, we could be also in a stage where if you're looking at it at the minute, you're going, okay, Bruno's here. And he's here with Casemiro and Mainu behind him. If we brought in two really, really good top midfielders who brought energy, who brought physicality to it, could we see more from Bruno?
Well, what he might be able to do is he might be able to focus a hell of a lot more on what's ahead of him and what's going on there than actually having to look back and go.
Right. Because I know if I'm playing in a 10 and the 6 and the 8 and behind me are a Casemiro whose legs are gone and a Mainu who doesn't have legs for me, it's a weird one. He never struggles to get about the pitch.
Yeah.
He just doesn't have a physical presence where he's everywhere. It's a much more slower, laboured, relaxed kind of a
an
player.
Extremely different personality.
He's very different.
Yeah.
So, like, if I'm Bruno and I'm in the 10, as much as I'm looking forward, I'm also looking at these two lads going, I might need to get back here quick.
So your focus is stretched across a range. Yeah.
Whereas if I've got, I don't know, let's spitball here. Let's go a Carlos Baleba. Yeah. And an Angelo Stiller. Let's just go, the two lads.
Yeah.
There's so much physicality there. There's so much energy. The work rate is just off the charts. I can go, do you know what? I can leave the gone to lunch thing here because these two are looking after everything. You know. And who knows? So I would be in favour of building around them. Because I think, now I say think, we got no guarantees with this. I think Bruno's capable of winning us a league title.
Interesting.
I think he's capable. I don't think he's ever had the players around him to do it. Yeah. But I do think in the last number of windows, we've started to build stuff around him. De Ligt, Yoro, Heaven, the keeper, Lamens, you know, Cunha and Bumo, Shesko, Dorgu, Ahmad. Like, you're building. There's a lot of those players would get into a lot of teams in the league, which hasn't been the case for us for a number of years. Now, we still need to pad that out, and I get that, but we're getting closer to having an 11 where we go, on any given day here, we can beat anybody in this league. And that wasn't the case for a little while, you know?
Is that as much, is it a lot to do with the case of the league as well, that the league has kind of come back to you a little bit? On top of what you guys have done with the likes of Cunha and Buemo and Seshko and stuff like that, no?
Well, like certain teams,
there's definitely been a massive drop off. Like,
I don't know if I'd call it a drop off. I think there's a difference in personnel. You know, Liverpool obviously.
But if you look at us, like, I mean, we've gone from league champions to.
Yeah, but here's the thing: you've also gone from Salah, Mane, and Firmino. You know. City have gone from Rodri, De Bruyne, and Haaland. Haaland's still there. De Bruyne has left the building, and Rodri's half the guy he has been. You know, so like, I think that plays a part in it too, absolutely. But I also think if I look at the last number of years, and I look at players either in the starting 11 or on the bench, and I go, why the fuck is he playing for Man United, man? This lad shouldn't be even in the stadium, you know. Yeah. But I'm getting much better vibes around the recruitment, you know.
Yeah, and obviously a decade of somewhat getting it wrong, if you like, takes a lot of time to fix.
Sure does. There's a lot of money been poured into that train.
Inspector Morris is missing in action. He's flat to the mat. That lad has about 10 jobs. He doesn't. Yeah,
he doesn't actually have a minute, in fairness to him.
Yeah, absolutely. He's always in the background, and we do get the odd message, so we hope he's good, and I'm sure he's happy with the way things are panning out at the moment.
Always pops up from the parapet, Morris, when there's a victory and stuff like that.
Yes, I was shocked we didn't hear from him last night. Having said that, when they drop the ball as well, he does be on to me going, here we go.
No, he does.
He's quite balanced. In fairness.
No, he does. Yeah. I'm happy enough.
Yeah. Anyway, that's it. Another show in the bag. I will be back tomorrow night for the double watch along. Bit of crack. So join me on a Friday night. We'll be covering Pats and Shells and Pats, and also Wolves versus Liverpool and Reds. Don't you dare let me down on what could be the final trophy we have a chance of winning. Because I have no faith in the Champions League at all, even though we're Champions League royalty somewhat.
I won't be watching tomorrow night because I'm in work till 6 o'clock. And then I am going to make my way to the Aviva for the Ireland game at 8.
Nice. Very nice.
So I was half in the chat.
I was half tempted on Saturday night. I was going to go to the Tree Arena. They're doing the David Attenborough, the Oceans with the RTE Orchestra.
I saw it.
The trailer is amazing, man. Look, I lose my shit on stuff like that. I'd be in tears looking at that.
I saw it, would you believe? Yeah, I did. It's the Under the Sea thing, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I saw it. Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, it looks amazing. So I said to Hillary, will we go? She hasn't decided yet, but I'd love to go to it because it's really, I love those things.
Bet you if you told her there was a rave going on it, she'd go.
Oh, if David Guetta was playing after, she'd be there. No doubt about it. I see David Guetta is teaming up with Carl Cox to bring us Summer in Ibiza.
Really?
Yeah. So there you go.
Will you be partaking?
No, I don't think so. I've a lot on at the moment. I've Vegas in 6 weeks, and then I've got Florida in September. You know what I mean? I've a lot going on this year.
It's a lot to do.
Yeah, there's a lot to do. Yeah. See, WWE are offering you a chance to put your name on the canvas for $500.
Is it only $500? That all it is?
$499.99, just like the network.
Do we know how big this is?
I'd say microscopic.
Microscopic.
Yeah, I can't imagine your name is going to look like the Slim Jim ad on the table or anything. Otherwise, I would have bought one saying Wrestling Mania, Stephen Green or something. Yeah. No, I don't see that being the case. It's probably like my little picture with Ben on the wall of champions at Anfield. It's just
it's part of a collage.
Part of a collage. I'd imagine this would be the same. So, but knowing that it was there would be quite cool. I still think it's a cool kind of idea.
They have got some cool ideas. I don't know whether you've seen did you see the turnbuckle one?
Yeah.
You've seen the turnbuckle, and there's you get a 1 of 10 or a 1 of 20 or a 1 of 1, and that's quite cool. Yeah. That is quite cool. Now I saw a couple of lads that bought them. And there seemed to be quite a number of 1 of 10 Kevin Nashes floating around.
Comes with a sample quadricep.
After paying $200 for this,
I
would have been a little bit upset with Kevin Nash. I'm not gonna lie.
I won't be doing a WrestleMania watch along, pal. The lads are doing the WrestleMania watch along. I will be sitting in the stadium. I'll be doing a watch along, all right, but it'll be a different kind of watch along.
It'll be yeah. Live from what's the name of the stadium?
The Allegiant Stadium.
The Allegiant.
Yeah,
that's the one. The Allegiant Stadium. The landscape is starting to take shape.
We spoke about it. Cody was right. Are we sleeping on this WrestleMania? Could be a big one.
I think Friday night's going to tell a tale. He definitely wins the belt.
You think?
Yeah, now don't forget, I called Drew taking it off him in Munich or in Berlin.
Yeah. Does it make sense to take it for 6 weeks and then drop it to Orton? Surely Orton's getting the belt at Mania, no?
Possibly. Now,
did you watch it? You didn't get the wrestling show last night? Do you know what my theory was last night? My theory last night was that Drew doesn't lose the belt and goes into Mania as the champion. And that Cody ends up in the match, and also Jacob Fatu ends up in the match, and they go with a 4-way. And my love would be that Jacob Fatu wins the belt at WrestleMania.
I sent you this last night, yeah? While you're on the show, do you know?
I don't look at WhatsApp when I'm on. I can't look at WhatsApp when I'm on the show.
I said at 7:43, yeah. I said Cody versus Orton, Fatu versus Drew. It's a bit disappointing now. And I said Cody getting the belt back Friday night unless they go for a shenanigans finish and make it a fatal 4-way.
Yeah.
So
I would love to see Jacob Fatu getting that kind of elevation on a Mania stage with those three boys would be sensational.
Now, Drew is either way not coming out of Mania with the belt.
No, I wouldn't have thought so.
Well, he's going to start filming Terminator straight after Mania. It's been released. He's gone for 6 to 8 weeks. Therefore, there will be no Drew McIntyre. So
we won't see him till SummerSlam then, probably.
We possibly won't see him return till SummerSlam. So that would lead me to think that Cody wins the belt on Friday night. We get Cody Randy, yeah. Randy wins the belt at Mania, and we get Fatu versus Drew in a Falls Count Anywhere in a no disqualification, and Fatu does some sort of a job on Drew and becomes the #1 contender for the belt.
Maybe. I just like the idea of like what I like at the moment now in Raw, especially the way it's gone very personal in a lot of these storylines. You're saying it with Rhea and Jade as well, and I like the way that's gone because when it gets personal, it's kind of real to us, and we can get it. Absolutely, we can get on that bus. Yeah, but I was thinking last night in the show to see Jacob Fatu in the middle of the ring with the belt and the three boys, I think would be sensational.
Are we getting to a stage where the tribal chief is coming out to acknowledge him and put the lei around his neck? Could we have twin champions? And then we end up at Survivor Series with Jacob versus Roman or something like that, or no belt on the line or something. We also
have the cohort of the MFTs that kind of needs something to, this walking around with the lantern now is a bit old stick at this stage, isn't it?
They'll bury it soon enough. I think they'll bury it somewhere.
It was interesting Punk talking about Roman being on his own,
and I do like the MFTs.
Yeah, I like Solo. I think
there's a lot.
I think there's a lot of quality in Solo that hasn't been tapped into yet.
Yeah, he's just got to find something to wear in the ring because the fucking ring gear is horrific looking.
Samoa Joe levels, isn't it?
He'd be better off going back to like the head shrinkers gear with the tights and the no boots and being Solo Sikoa Savage or something like because
Umaga levels.
Yeah, because like
Umaga, yeah.
The boxy shorts and the knee pads and the kick pads are just god awful.
It's all a bit Muay.
Well, he's like a Samoan copy of Rusev, and you're like, what are we watching here, lads? Like it's, do you know what I mean?
Before we go, we've 1 more minute or whatever. What did you make of Rusev and Obafemi? Were they testing Obafemi for a bigger man, let's say?
Yeah, and they're also apparently teasing because haven't they gone in for Rusev Day again for round 2 for the merch?
Yeah.
I agree with you, Brent. I agree. It's hideous looking. Yeah, there you are, pal. It is. It's dreadful looking. And he has a lot that they could do to him to make him look more like project him up there into that main card, that main event status, And he's still young, Solo.
They need to jump on the character as well because there's a lot of character there still to come out that we've seen a little bit.
Very, very funny.
Yeah, he's a funny fucker, all right.
He's very funny, man.
Yeah.
No,
I was in bed the other night and I was thinking, you know what, you could take Rikishi out of Too Cool and drop him into the middle and we'd laugh our balls off.
Yeah, absolutely.
Absolutely. Yeah, I see him being that guy that could nearly take the piss out of Penta's entrance and everything and all, that kind of way and all.
How good was that the other night, by the way?
Brilliant.
To see Penta, that was cool.
It was great.
That was very cool.
Absolutely.
Really enjoyed that.
I think we will get 16 matches for Mania. I think they're starting early and I think they have a lot of talent. I think they're talking already that there's going to be 6 women's matches and I'm not surprised. The talent they have. They have to. So
now, cool. 12. 6 each night. 2 6s.
Interesting. Early start, though.
Yeah, but don't forget, you've got the buffer of what's going on around the arena, with special guest and this and that, and you won't.
And then you've got to get to a Hall of Fame at a different location on the Saturday as well, isn't it?
And the ring-in entrances take forever, man.
Yeah.
Because don't forget, you're gonna have some sort of special ring walk because it's WrestleMania, and we'll have who are we gonna have? What are we getting out for Punk this time? Are we getting the Chicago Marching Band, or are we getting? You're gonna have something.
Michael Jordan himself
leading them down with the belt over the shoulder.
Cigar. And Alan Parsons. Alan Parsons could be the new CM Punk team. Walking out of that locker room with Michael Jordan like Goldberg or something.
Yeah. kicking the door off the hinges.
That entrance was insane the other night.
Brilliant. It was brilliant.
Right, enough of that wrestling shenanigans anyway. We'll keep that for the other shows and stuff like that.
Sure
Pleasure
will.
as always having you on. Folks, if you could subscribe to the channel, hit the bell notification button and drop a like in the video, we would appreciate it. If you want to join me, 7:45 tomorrow night, you know the place, same time, double watch along, bit of crack open a beer, a box of curly whirlies, whatever you want to get stuck into on a Friday, and we'll have a bit of crack here. Hopefully Liverpool can get through against Wolves. Darren will be shouting for Shelbourne, that's for sure. Until next time, cheers.